Welcome back, traders. Today was a fantastic day in the markets. I mean, not for everything. I know SPY was actually down a little bit there at the end. A few other Magnificent Seven stocks, they weren't doing super great today either, but the miners were on fire today. So many of them that I hold are up in double digits. I was selling into this strength a little bit. I know that I'd like to hold to the promised land, but when I'm seeing 200% gains in just 4 or 5 months, I need to take some of that profit off of the table. That is just what a responsible, profitable trader does. Of course, that's not a suggestion to buy, hold, or sell any of your bags of anything that you own, but that's just what I am doing. For example, today we're looking at the chart for Mara right now. Mara went up to 27, almost $28. You better believe I've been selling this entire wick up here. I was selling it. Not a lot. I sold maybe 50 shares out of my 350 or almost 400 shares. I sold about 50 today, which really wasn't a lot. I sold one more call at $30. I rolled it actually from a call for $25 that I was down significantly on, because I'm hoping that price comes back to about 12 bucks. I can close that out for a 50% profit on that one. Hopefully recover some of the losses from my previous attempts at making calls on the top of this stock, which I've been, honestly wrong about the top on this 3-4 times. I was selling it at this candle here at like $18-20. I was selling, and then I started selling again at 22, and then I started selling again today. I mean, this thing could go as high as, honestly, I think today might have been the top, if I'm being honest. I think because it got into this zone right here. If it gets out and above $32, like if it gets, I mean, honestly, it gets out and above $30, there's really nothing in our way up till get above 30. We're going up into the high 30s, maybe even low 40s if we get above 30. Like that's just it. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna leave this on here because this Bollinger Band Keltner channel squeeze that it got into down here was what launched this thing off. I mean, just gave it all that momentum. At some point, we're going to see it get crushed again, but we'll see. I mean, if you've ever wanted to see a textbook parabolic move, that's this right here. From the bottom in October all the way to December. That's only 2 months. That's 60 days. So I've been buying it from like this line here at 16 bucks. I bought it all the way down to $7 where I was loading up, and then I stopped buying when it got to about 10.50, and now it just absolute parabolic move from there. And just the 60-day period, it's just woo all the way up there. Merry Christmas, everybody. And that's it. That is a parabolic move, and parabolic moves are often met by parabolic dumps. Like something, I know it's not as bad as some of these back here, especially that one. But let's have a look. See, the last time we saw a nice parabolic move, which looks minuscule now by comparison, was at the lows at $3.09. We saw this very familiar looking formation right here. Doesn't that just look almost exactly like what we just saw from October to December? When was this? This was December of last year into January of this year. And before that, we saw what? It was in December, the early December. Well, actually, we had a big sell-off even further than that. But anyways, nice big bowl we were building here. I would have called that probably a potential cup and handle. That definitely didn't form. It went past it and then came all the way down. Now it peaked, came down. What is that? It gave back that big candle there. Then it went back to the top for a double top. Came down, paused just above that double top, just above calling it a double top to fake you out, went flat and then dumped further and gave back almost 50% of that move. What was this? This was 309 to 950, and we settled down here 552. Yeah, gave back almost 50% of that move, like 45% or so right there. So if we were to do that here, and you see, it looks just so similar, right? We have our like bowl that got formed here. We had our top here that it just didn't even pause at it. In fact, it gapped up over that peak, over that high from before at 1990. It just gapped right past it. Like, nope. Oh man, if we turn on fair value gaps right now, I bet you those are just going to be lighting this tree up. Yep, there we go. Big old Christmas tree right there for you. and then it's going to come crashing right through. Not all of these probably, but a good amount of them are likely going to get filled up, especially these two big ones right there. I think we might get caught up around this one right here, around 13 bucks, maybe down to 12. We might fill this one down here at some point. So what am I expecting from Mara now? I'd like to say I know. I don't know. It's beat all of my expectations so far, all of them. I thought it was going to hit 20 to $23 and then bleed off. Like this candle here was like, yeah, that's confirmation that it's going to come back down, and then it just didn't. We still have 4 more days in the trading year for our markets this year. For this to continue to go up, we might get a negative Grinch this year instead of a Santa Claus rally after Christmas. We'll see. I kind of hope that it is a bit negative so that the market can digest these moves a little bit before going higher into an all-time high and dragging everything with it along, just like Mara along with it. That'd be fantastic. That's what I want to see, because we are at resistance here. Like we are in this space right here where all this resistance is, this box. We're in there. We're in resistance. This green line, yeah, that was supposed to be where I thought it would all stop. It didn't. It went right by it and it's coming almost to it. In post, I think it is at it. Let me mark it. Yeah, we came right back to it, back tested it, and then bounced a little bit. That makes me feel a little bit bullish about Tuesday, because Monday is Christmas. But honestly, look, we're almost giving none of this move back, like almost none of it. We had like a little pause and then just euro, and then a little pause and then euro, and then a little pause. But notice how it's getting less intense, like this huge move up and then a pause and then another huge leg up and a smaller pause with a long, long wick on it, and then a much smaller push up. And now we're pausing for a few candles here. If we see this area right here get taken out, 25.50, I say that's going to fill this gap down here to 23.80. If that doesn't hold, down here to 21.80. If that doesn't hold, all the way down to 18. Once we fall down to 18, we're going to the basement if that happens. Because 18 is just, I mean, if you're buying this stock at $27 and in 3-4 weeks, maybe even 2 months later, it's trading at $18, you've lost almost $10 per share. If you got 100, that's $1,000 down. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel horrible. You're going to feel ready to quit, to capitulate, to give up, give in, sell your shares. This is obviously a scam at that point, right? And then once we see that, then if we get to that 18 level, that's when I think we take, a very quick drop down to this trend line here. I think we're going to settle around 12 bucks. If I'm being honest, I think we're going to settle on Mara around 12 bucks. That is what I think when it starts to come down. It has not started to come down. This thing can run up to 30 bucks still. Like it still could just go all the way to the top of this, maybe even hit 33, at which point I am selling a little bit more. I'm trying to hold on to at least 250 to 300 shares of Mara for the long run into the bull run. But if it hits $33, you better believe I'm going to sell a little bit more. I'm just slowly taking a little bit of profit every time we get a big move, like double-digit day up. I'm taking a little bit of profit. I'm not going to be holding this bag all the way up and all the way back down again, in the case. But anyway, we need to come back at least to this $20 level. We have to come back and test this. Like, I don't trust this move if we don't come back to test this area right here. I don't trust it. I don't trust this move if we don't do this. In fact, I don't trust this move now because we didn't do this. We just launched right by it. We didn't even look back. Didn't even try. So I don't like it. I don't like this movement right now. This movement makes me nervous. Parabolic moves scare me. I love it since I hold the shares, but don't get FOMO right now. I think that's very dangerous. While I do believe that the stock could go up a little bit further, I am weary of what's going to happen after it does get one more little movement up. At what is the maximum amount of upward pressure this thing can take before it comes down. I mean, it's been in overbought conditions basically since November 28th, almost an entire month. Since it has been in overbought conditions basically since $12.41. Think about that for a minute. It's been in overbought conditions over $10 here in this move. This whole move is overbought conditions. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to collapse tomorrow, but at some point it's got to breathe. At some point it has to breathe. And this is all probably ETF, anticipation of an ETF in January. If that ETF gets approved in January, yeah, this is probably going to hit $50, and I'm going to eat my words, and I'm going to be very sad that I sold anything at all before it hit that range, and I'm gonna have a bad day. Aside from the small profit I'll be taking on that day, I'll be having a bad day. But it's, I mean, even here, like this is probably how we were feeling here, and this wasn't even that parabolic by comparison. This looks tame over here in July compared to the move of this last month. And even with this, we were in overbought conditions since this candle right here, which was June 20th, and we stayed in overbought conditions until July 13th, about a month. We've been doing that now, about a month of overbought conditions. And then we got we got a three-line strike here. At least we thought it was going to be a three-line strike with that little blue candle coming in. It failed. We got one more coming down, a little bit of a bump, and then woo, we came down real fast. I do think we're going to come back to $12. I don't know when we're going to come back to $12, but I think we're going to come back to about $12. This is the daily. It would have to be fast because I think we're going to hit this trend line. We might overshoot it because once it comes, it's going to come with a lot of momentum, and we might overshoot it, and it'll be like, and it like might just wick down here for a day or two down to like 1050 or something, and then bounce right back up. Let's look at the weekly. Let's see how the technicals look. Oh wow, yeah. Okay, so if we look at the weekly, look at that candle. Look at that absolutely insane candle. This thing started at $17 and we went up to $27.75. We went up almost $11 on this one candle. We have not had a red candle in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And do we even want to count this little doji here that's barely red as a red candle? I mean, I know we have to, but I mean that's basically 1, 2. I mean, it's moving up this whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks where price is moving up. I mean, I know this candle is red, but like price is still higher than it was before here. It's been moving up basically since October nonstop. How much more does it have? How much more momentum does this have right now? That's my question. We've been in overbought conditions, yeah, on the weekly since November 20th. We are at an RSI of 97.50 right now, almost 100. Now, that doesn't mean it has to come back down. It does not mean that, especially since if we look down here on the volume oscillator, it is still pointing up like crazy. It is still just looking straight up. It doesn't mean it needs to come back down right now, but I want to see this start to curl. I want to see the RSI start coming back. It's got to at least come back down and touch this line at some point. And when it does, I want to see it come all the way down here. I want to fill this gap right here. There's a gap on the weekly right here. I want to see that fill. I want to see this gap fill, honestly. 1674. That's a weekly gap fill. Let me take this line and put that right there. That's what I want to see. That's where I want it to come to. And then what's this one? What's this one from? I can't remember why I put that there, but I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to move it. We got another gap right here. Big one. Big gap, right? I mean, not that big, but big. Big gap. Between the wick here and here, there's a fair value gap right. Let me turn on the fair value gap. Let me see what that looks like. Fair value gap. Yeah, there's a big one right here, all the way down to 1165. Now, we don't need to completely fill that because you can see back here, we never filled these, and we probably never will. I mean, if we go all the way back here to the lows before the bull run, yeah, we got gaps down here under $3 that never filled, and they probably never will. Not every gap needs to get filled, but some do. Notice over here, the only gaps that didn't get filled at the very bottom of these moves here, way down, like under $5. I think this time around is probably going to be the gaps under under $8 that don't get filled. But I think these ones will probably get filled. That's I mean, just look at this. It's got to give something back. It can't be it's got to give something back at some point. What did our previous parabolic move right here look like? Yeah, we had a bunch of gaps. Look, they all got filled. All the gaps from this parabolic move got filled down here. This marathon. I've spent way too much time on this right now. In fact, I'll probably have to do a slew of videos here now because this was just such a long one right now. That's just my assessment of marathon. I'm going to do like 3 more videos after this and release them like today or tomorrow, going over the other miners and like another play that I'm looking at. I didn't realize I had so much to say about marathon. All right. That's it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to get more technical analysis like this about your favorite crypto mining stocks, and have a profitable day.